I don't agree with a lot of the recruitment influencers out there because I believe that they're more interested in LinkedIn followers than actual content that would... Like, I feel their content is good, but at the other side as well, I speak to a lot of my guys in the industry and we don't agree with a lot of sort of stuff. At the end of the day, recruitment, as I keep going on, is a relationship game. And it has to be... You have to be succinct with your client. I'm that good with my clients that I can just text and they text back to me, go from there. That's what recruitment is. Recruitment's not about, in the early days, it's hard sales, this, that, the Gordon Geckos, all that shit, But like these days, it's all relationship based. It's also about, what we go about all the time, which is social proof. Like, you have to make sure that what you are putting out in the content to the world is correct. And this is what I have a beef with a lot of recruitment influencers out there because it's just airy-fairy, wishy-washy bullshit. And there's no actual substance to the post other than I want a fucking shitload of followers.
That is a very good point. Rise of the recruitment influencer,
I don't know. There is... The recruitment influencer is definitely there. And there are some big players in the space. And... I only really got my LinkedIn act together probably 10 years ago. I mean, if I really pushed it when I was in London, probably could have done something bigger with it. But as you know, as social platforms grow, they become more and more restrictive.
Yes. And
the restrictions now on LinkedIn are okay. But man, like a couple of years ago, with Chrome extensions, pulling out email addresses and stuff, and just boom, boom, boom. Well, you should only connect with people on LinkedIn you're connected with. I don't agree with that. I think targeting a manager working for a company that is in your lane is something that has to happen. And if you're a recruiter and you're not strong on the LinkedIn game, I mean, I have this argument all the time, The girls that work for TRS, they're on LinkedIn, they work it, but nowhere near as hard as me, or some other people I know. But it's also about building rapport. But I guess where recruitment is you find a recruiter, the first thing you do, or any product or service, I need filming, I'm going to Google you. And like this is, I caught up with a ex-colleague, soon to be current colleague, and she was saying to me, this company doesn't post CCATs. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you build the profile of your recruitment workforce if people can't actually see what you're recruiting for? And I think this is a fundamental issue with our industry at the moment. It's like, you need more staff here. I'll do it for you as a favour, you know that. But if you had to go to the market to find a recruiter, how would you feel about that? Like, you deep breath today.
Yeah. Where do I even start? Who do I trust? Who's gonna take care of me?
Yeah.
Who's in it for just the money? I don't know. It's a little bit. It's scary.
It is scary because the problem is our industry has that. It's all about the money. It's not about the backup of the replacement service. It's not this or that. And I also feel that. It's all well and good to say, we'll go get a recruiter on it, but which one do you use? How do you build trust? And I think the only way you can honestly build trust is to see what their track record is. That's why people starting in recruitment, it always takes 6 months to a year to really find your stride, because it's not so much you understanding the product you're recruiting for, it's building rapport with your client workforce.
So in a world where we've got influencers and recruitment influencers, how do we keep it real?
You don't. This is the thing, that you don't keep it real. It's like the people that are authentic in their message will rise to the top.
Yeah.
And this is what I keep going on about. It's about the authentic, in an ideal LinkedIn world, my recruitment posts and business type posts should trend over Alana the Mustang.
Right, yeah.
Logically. I'm a recruiter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm looking for work, I want to see from that. But they don't. It's the other way around. Everyone's like, oh my God, it was great.
Yeah.
And I just feel, you and I have deep discussions on LinkedIn and how beneficial it is as a tool. And it's almost, I think now LinkedIn's more important than your CV. I don't actually think you need a CV anymore. My brutal, honest opinion of it is if your LinkedIn profile's up to date and it's downloadable, why do you need a CV?
That's a good point.
Like, it's verified. I can see where you've worked, friends in common. And I think that's kind of where we're going to, where we're all going to become data companies in the recruitment industry. We're holding massive realms of data. I think if we're going to have recruitment influencers and we're going to have people that lead the industry, I believe it should be on technical base and not who makes the loudest noise. But in like all in business, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I just think that people jump on a bandwagon, jump off the bandwagon, I'd love recruitment influencers. I think it's a great idea. I think it's like, let's go one step further with a recruitment influencer. Let's look at something to promote the industry. Like more of a positive aspect, not more of a, as we've just discussed, I haven't got what you want, right? So you trust me, I'll get it sorted for you. But if I didn't have it, you got to go to the market. Your thoughts are, who the fuck am I using? Are these guys going to fucking rip me off? Yes, they're going to rip me off. Even if you haven't spoken to them, of course they're going to fucking rip me off. They're going to charge me too much money. The person's going to be substandard and they'll leave in 3 months. And that's even before you've sent an email.
Good luck.
Yeah, good fucking luck. You're like, So I think the recruitment influencer is very important to the industry. There needs to be more of it. But
I think you just have to back it up with values, really caring about people, trying to help other people out. Like, it can't all be about you.
Yep, absolutely. James, I got a question for you. How have you seen your business improve with LinkedIn?
Good question. I think LinkedIn is one of those things that opens up opportunities. So when I first started, my whole strategy was just posting content. I had no idea about sales. I had no idea about outreach. I just posted content. And just from that's how the business first started to grow. It's slowed down a little bit, and it's not the same level as it used to be. But I think that in combination with outreach, that's a huge part of my business. And I think naively when I first started, my question was always like, how do I get sales? And people always had their own sort of version of this, a lot of misguided information out there. But realistically, the combination of posting content, cold outreach on LinkedIn is huge. It accounts for a large proportion of our business. That plus referrals that's purpose.
It's B2B platform.
Yes.
And nothing against B2C or C2C, like nothing against those models at all. B2B is a different space. And it's funny how relationships between B and B start off. It's generally over content, it's over a referral, it's over networking. We've been in a couple of things. Bio, I was talking to Bio and Alex this morning. And I think that's all really important in this day and age. So the digital age, but again, you're an influencer, you're in recruitment, like going to a networking function and then backing it up with solid digital content is where it's at. Like, people always ask me, why do I wear sunglasses on top of my head? And there is a reason for it. It goes back to my Perth days, and it's just stuck with me, okay? I used to wear them in London in the middle of winter, always top of my head. But back in the Perth days, and it was probably a little bit over here in the 80s, right? In order to do really successful business, you had to have a really good car.
A really good car?
You had to have a really good car. You had to shop, at a meeting, Porsche, whatever, like Mercedes, whatever. You had to have a good car. And that's how you did business in Perth back in the 80s, right? The Bondi era, right? You had to have a good car. Now I kind of feel like where we are going in the recruitment industry, but in all industries, is how good is your online content?
It's a good point.
Like, are you putting... as you know, I'm on this massive fitness crusade at the moment. So gym every day.
That's awesome.
I'm working with a nutritionist. I'm working with a lot of people to improve my overall health, whether it's mentally, spiritually, and physically. Now, as when your online presence, I believe if you're not putting in the effort like this, what we are with you, people are not going to take you seriously. I know of plenty of recruiters who they have no profile photo. They might have 200, 300 followers on LinkedIn and they're over $1 million a year biller. Okay, but they've been in the game a long time, and their phone is probably worth millions of dollars. Just the contacts that are in the thing, right? And I've seen these recruiters, like you see them in networking, or they'll just sit and they're also doing all those just texting. Need this? Oh yeah, cool. They need that done, and they're great. But those days are numbered, man.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So I get every week or two, I get emails to my inbox of people looking for work, freelance, videographer, photographer. And the first thing, subconsciously, the first thing I go to is, who are you? What do you look like? Where's your photo? And I'd say 90% of them, because generally creative people, we don't think about putting ourselves out there. There's no profile photo.
Correct.
I follow the link through to LinkedIn. I can't see them. I follow the link onto LinkedIn. I can't see them. Like, who are you? Before we even get to the point of, is the work good and you're the right fit for us, there's a concern in the back of my mind of, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what they're about, how they're showing up. And I suppose in the same way you get to sort of vibe with a person and talk to them. You're like, oh, what's Tav all about? Oh, cool, the car, the fitness thing, the way he talks authentically. I relate to that.
You and I started out over profile photos, over traditional photos. And then I was telling you my story, and then we shot it. And then we cut that up, and this is where this kind of evolved to this. And this is I believe that if someone's watching this and go, oh fuck Tav, I don't have a budget to do these videos that you're doing, right? Even if you shot off your iPhone like I used to do with a ring light camera, with a ring light, and back in the day when me and Haley were doing stuff, and that's fine. That's where you can start off, and I kind of like that authenticity, that be authentic stuff. But you asked me, how do you be authentic in this market? Consistency. If you're not consistent, you're putting a post out, I heard from a couple of weeks, you're not.
I'm with you.
You're starting to build a base up. You're starting to do this. You're starting to do that. I fully respect that. But at the same time as well, you've got to be consistent in your message. When I rarely go on holidays, but I am going on holidays in October this year. Alana's going on Bull Rush. We're very looking forward to this. I'll make sure that when I'm asking Claire is all the socials topped up? Are we preloaded? Do I have a presence working for me online from when I'm not there? Comes back. And if you don't have that kind of strategy, and people might say, "Oh, Tav, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be a recruitment influencer or a fitness influencer, or I just want to go about my job." Where this is all going is I think it all started, to be brutally honest, with the AI coming into it. It kind of reset everyone's foundation, and if you're not using AI in your business now, if you're not doing video content, you're being left behind at a rapid rate of knots.
100%.
How much AI are you guys using now here? It's compared to a year ago.
It's streamlined so much of what we do. It makes a huge difference. And I think a lot of people in the production space are already oh, I'm freaking out. It's going to steal my job. I just view it as it enhances us. It makes us we can do so much more with it. It's
also about the heavy lifting in areas that like the admin support, I'm playing around with the idea of plugging it into emails to sort of have a automated email reply to certain types of CVs and stuff, but actually generating it. It's not quite there yet, but what I don't want to do is plug it across the whole business, because I kind of feel that we're just going to run into some legislation issues.
I had a question for you. You spoke to me a couple of weeks or a month ago around big versus small opportunities. What are your thoughts on pursuing all big opportunities or balancing it out with the smaller ones?
Big opportunities are great. Big opportunities are the ones that you go party on a Friday after you bring in, right? And the big opportunities are what transform your business overnight from this size player to a player. I think where you need to balance it out is bank in the bank. Your bank manager's not going to give a shit if it comes from a big opportunity or a small opportunity. Okay, and the small opportunities do take as much work as the big opportunities, but they don't take as long to land.
Yes.
And the problem is with big opportunities, once you land, you get really fucking excited about it and you put all your resources into those big opportunities. And you will lose some current small opportunities that pay their bills on time, come in, do this and do that, right? Because they're going, oh, I'm not getting the same level of service. James is growing. Like I used to get this feedback all the time at TRS. Tab's growing. He's not managing my account one-on-one anymore. And like it or not, and I love everyone at TRS Resourcing, is like they're not going to do the account the same way that you might have done it back in the day. So the client got used to a certain level of expectations.
Sure.
Most of the time they actually do it better than me because I was spread very thinly. But you've got to balance it out, because if you're always just working on big opportunities, you're going to run short on cash flow at certain times of the year.
Sure.
Especially around when Bass is due and stuff. And then if you're just working on small opportunities all the time, you're going to burn out. And burn out in a bad way.
It's a very good point. It's really sort of having that balance.
Correct. And then you're going to have issues with your wife. Because you're going to, why are you always so fucking tired? Like, you're newly married, Sarah. I'm just trying to, you got to get, but the thing is, you're not going to get, I'm getting older, move around, it's actually not a science. Like, I would love to give you a mathematical formula and say, James,
10%
here. Yeah, just do that. What's on that piece of paper is the plan. Do not deviate from that plan, okay? Unfortunately, things change and it's a fluid situation. The only advice I have is trust your gut instinct.
It's a really good point.
Trust it.
We had a client the other day who we did the shoot for them right around the corner from here, got all the content, and there was just one specific photo. Like, they didn't necessarily ask for it, but once I was talking to them over the phone, I'm like, I think it was really important. This guy wanted one additional picture. It's a hassle for us to go out there and do it, but I'm like, actually, hey, we're just around the corner. I'm going to send someone out, make sure we get that one clip for you. It's a small thing, but I just got the feeling like, actually, this really means a lot to this guy. Let me just make sure I've got it covered. And I think that's what you mean by gut feeling. Like, just get a sense for... And that's not like there's not like a science to that. It's just got a gut feeling.
People think business success is just all about luck. It's about time in your market, learning your craft, learning your skill, and developing your gut feeling. So you saying, working with this client, sounds like the first time you worked with them, whatever. Yeah, I'm feeling like we need to go do this, this photo. He was happy, they were happy. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was a pain in the fucking ass, but like, it's what life is. And like, I feel like a lot of people will agonize over a decision, not make a fucking decision, which is worse than they're not. And then indecision is so fucked. Sometimes the best decision is no decision, but not all the time.
Yes.
I would much rather people come to me at TRS and said, we made a decision, fantastic. What was the outcome? We fucked up, no problem. But we made a decision. We made a plausible, credible decision with the facts that we had to hand today, not with the facts that we had to hand yesterday, not the facts we're going to have tomorrow, the facts we had at this given moment that I needed to make a decision. And I think if more people did that and didn't overthink their social media strategy and then just picked up a phone and started filming, get some traction, give James a call when you're ready to take it to the next level. Because there's probably nothing worse with working with someone who wants to do videos that's never done videos before. You're like, and they're like, oh, it's freezing. And you're like, fuck. Like, this, like half the session is just like dealing with.
There's so much psychology that goes into it, people feeling nervous. It's really interesting, that sort of gut feeling kind of thing. Do you feel like that's developed over time or gotten better and better? Like, how has that gut feeling showed up for you?
My gut feeling has been developed with many, many years of business success and business fuck-ups. And I guess I've only ever really been in recruitment. So I started off hospitality, went into mining logistics for a couple of years, sent mining parts to Indonesia from all over Australia, based from Perth. And then I fell into recruitment, and since 23, I've effectively been a recruiter. You see a lot of cycles, you start seeing patterns, and you start seeing lessons along the way. And then your resilience and your sort of core beliefs increase. And why you need your core beliefs to increase is you're growing your business. Staff, payroll, offices, all that. You see something in the market, oh, there's an opportunity here that no one else sees. You see a client, that client would be a very good fit for us. Let's say they're a pet products business.
Sure.
I only say that because I just helped a dear friend of mine set up a pet business on the weekend.
Nice.
And you see an opportunity to get into that space, and no one's really in that space. Everyone's telling you you're fucking crazy. What the fuck are you doing? You're doing corporate B2B. Why the fuck do you want to go after a pet supplier? Because you see something about photo shoots, filming, this sort of stuff, and you go to that and you apply your lessons that you've learnt across from all the other industries you had, and you go to that client and say, I believe I can do this for you. It's funny you should say, and I guarantee you they'll say, we've been thinking about this for a while, but we weren't comfortable with finding someone. Exactly the same conversation that you've had with me about going to find a new recruiter to find staff. They have the same conversation in their head about video services. And you go, well, hang on, you've come to us, you've got we feel, let's get this done because we feel comfortable with you. And that's where I believe your gut feeling and also your resilience and also reading the market and where it's going.
I love that. There have been a few times in my life where I've followed my gut feeling.
Good.
And it's opened up a conversation, a door to someone new, and it's transformed everything. And there's no logical reason that I did it. There was just some part of me, I think I should talk to Tav. I think I should talk to this guy. I think I should just reach out. It's crazy. Question around admitting when you're wrong. Okay, so
just get it over and done with.
some leaders, they develop an ego over time, and they just never want to admit that they're wrong. What are your thoughts?
They're not leaders, they're dictators.
Ooh.
Plain and simple.
Fair.
Fucking plain and simple. They want to go make pointy missiles. You want a missile with a nice pointy tip on it? That's what they want to go do. It's leaders are people that will go, I made a decision that we made wrong. And stand by that. Yeah. This is why I made the decision. I've made many decisions in TRS that have been financially fucking disastrous. Disastrous. And learn, regrouped, be accountable. But leaders need to be accountable, and they also need to not always be everyone's best friend. I mean, everyone thinks that, I have many fucking arguments within TRS, within the staff, about where we think we should be going or what we're doing. I'll always let people be heard. That's the big thing. But at the end of the day, I've got to trust my decision. And if it's wrong, I need to find out why it was wrong, and I need to present that to the team. Yeah. Leaders need to lead, not be right all the time. If leaders are just trying to be right and make the right moves all the fucking time, it's probably going to be a very boring fucking business company. Yeah. And the staff turnover is probably going to be through the fucking roof. Yeah. Because there's only one person making all the decisions. And I would prefer my team to make a call when I'm not there, and it be fucking catastrophically wrong and it costs the company money, then no decisions made, we've saved money, but a client's pissed off or a candidate hasn't been done. I think it's more important to be heard, listen, than to be fucking right all the time.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if I just made sense, but I was ranting a bit there.
No, I like it. It's good. So young business owner, just starting out. What's the general advice for someone who's in sort of their first year of business?
Learn to read the balance sheet and the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L.
It's good advice.
And spend the money on a bookkeeper to make it current. And if you don't fucking know the difference between a P&L and a balance sheet, get the fuck out of business. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. If you cannot understand the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L, get the fuck out of business. Yeah. And go do something else.
I love that. I remember my first year in business, the most shocking part was my tax bill, which I was totally not prepared for.
Yeah.
And I went,
tax? Hang on.
What? But I just worked so hard to make all this, and now what is this? I was just, that was really challenging.
As you know, I've had interesting dealings with the ATO over the years, especially when, in my previous company life when I got liquidated, but we got it sorted out in the end. You're not going to know everything, right? And you're not meant to know everything. But it comes back to leadership fundamentals where you don't have to be fucking right all the time. You don't need to be... I don't think you need to be an authoritarian. You don't need to be a forceful leader. I think the best leadership style is to let people listen to what you have to say. Also, equally listen to them when they're talking to you. Because here's the crazy fucking thing. A 20-year-old in your business may have the solution to something you've been trying to fucking fix for years.
Yeah.
But you're not going to learn anything from him if you assume because he's 20, he's not going to have anything to add to the fucking thing, you know? And that's a big skill that I've had to learn. As you know, last year I did fall out of love with TRS for a couple of reasons. And, you kind of need these points in your life to kind of go, how can I improve? How can I be better? How can I serve better the people I'm working for? And I think that's the key fundamentals to any successful business, is to make sure that people are heard and that you're understanding your numbers and you're also understanding your clients' needs. Because at the end of the day, no clients, no money, no money, no business. So I think it's really important to speak to your clients, read the posts on your LinkedIn after you post something, take the feedback on board, because you could actually be wrong. You might have been right to that point, but moving forward, someone's just given you a better idea, a better solution to something, a better way of doing something. But it might not just be that there. It could be that point there, that point there, that point there. Add them all together, go from there.
I love that. You speak a lot about coming back from failures, setbacks.
That's all I do. Something my fucking life.
I think a common thing, especially for younger people in business early on in the journey, is they have their first big fuck up. And it's like, game over, I'm out, I'm a complete failure. You seem to have a great ability to, I don't know if it's like talk yourself through or coach yourself through it. Like, what is that?
Honestly, no plan B. I don't come from money. I don't have that. I don't have that, family lean on, I came to Melbourne now, almost 8 years ago, broke. I've never had a job in Melbourne. And we, that story. I do talk about comeback a lot because I guess that's how I've, sort of focused my management style and my leadership style and to be optimistic. And now I'm taking a different view in life. I'm really working hard on balance. What I mean by balance in my business life, balance in my personal life. I was speaking to Alex this morning about this, because I don't believe you can have a successful career, a successful business without having a successful personal life. I did believe for many, many years that all that was important was successful business, and just put every waking minute into that. Okay. Now, a bit older, a bit wiser, your values change, but so does your management style, and so does the way that you kind of engage with your business. Now, I'm not saying just because you're not a senior manager in a company or a manager or you're just starting out your career, you shouldn't focus on both. But in your 20s, you don't really give a fuck. You party, you work, you do that. Suddenly you turn 30, start getting a bit more serious, got to take the business and more things. So I do believe in rites of passage. I kind of did it the other way around. I was very serious in my 20s, got married, 30s, got divorced, had the liquidation, rebuilt from that. Now I'm in my 40s. And so now I'm more interested in doing things a little bit more differently than I did earlier in life. But everyone's odyssey is different. And also it's about leadership, but leadership on how you conduct yourself on a daily basis. And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, but we got to get up and move on from there. I do feel though that the more balanced you are in life, the less stressed you are, the better business decisions you make. Fair. That gut feeling to go approach that client is clearer. And I fully believe that.
Yeah. What I love about what you share so much in terms of coming back is that it takes time.
Yeah, it does take fucking time.
And I think in the moment we're just like, shit, everything's going to shit. Like, what do I do? It's going to be like this forever. But it's sort of, hey, in like 6 months, 12 months, I'm going to get through this.
This too shall pass.
Very good advice.
This too shall pass. Now, again, I'm not sometimes very good at taking my own advice, but this too shall pass. And onwards and upwards and, go from there. But you do need to go through these periods in life. And unfortunately, just because you've gone through one period doesn't mean it ain't going to happen again. And, I get really fucking pissed off in the moment, and especially if I've been done wrong by, or bullshitted to, or been taken advantage of.
Yes.
Fucking drives me insane. And, but at the end of the day, you dust yourself off. You then deal with one situation at a time, one quarantine, one silo at a time until you work through the whole thing. And then suddenly what'll happen is you'll get to a point where, as I keep saying, your resilience, but also your core values rise. And what I mean by that is that you've absorbed the lesson. You can now apply the lesson to a completely different area of your business and turn it around.
Yeah.
It's not about, oh my God, this has happened. Fuck. We've all had tax bills, man.
Yeah.
We've all had tax bills.
Yeah.
Some bigger than others, man.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, that's a lot of money. And when I got to pay that by?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But as these things happen to you, clients come, clients go, staff come, staff go. These guys are cool, officers come, officers go. It's not. It's always evolving. And as long as you embrace that things are changing, nothing is ever going to stay the same.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. But if you're not okay, that's okay too. But as a leader of the business, you need to tell people that I'm not okay. And I've done that a couple of times through TRS, especially last year. I was like, guys, I'm not good. And they respect that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's nothing worse than a leader saying everything's fine.
Yes.
And it fucking ain't.
Yeah. That's a good point. Why Mustang?
Good question. Right. There's a bit of a longish answer to this. So it didn't come from money. Always into car films. Watched the original Gone in 60 Seconds. There was a Mustang in that.
Yeah.
Then kind of cemented the idea I liked the car. Then moved to Melbourne and I started hiring them.
Cool.
Because I didn't have money to buy a car.
Yep.
Really liked the idea. So I put it on my vision board for a Mustang. Because people go, Tav, you waited 7 years to pay cash for a Mustang. Yes. And then put the mods into it. And we're going to put some more mods into it.
Nice.
If Rachel's watching this, I'm sorry. And it's just it doesn't matter what car you want or what thing you want. You can borrow the money and do it quickly, but if you put a project together, build something, then take that money that you've built over multiple projects, multiple years, you go buy that car, you go buy that thing. You will treat that car, that thing, as good as you treat yourself.
Yeah, wow.
So I didn't bring Alana today because I left the keys in the office. I'm like, what the fuck keys? Because I actually really like the car detailer here downstairs. I was going to get cleaned because Alana's not there. But it's not so much like I want it. It's just a pride. It's kind of, it's an extension of yourself. Yeah. So that's why the Mustang.
That's cool, man. It seems like it's much more symbolic for you. Like it's not just a car.
No, fuck no. I take it.
That's a representation of all the work that you put in.
People get confused that I drive it so much to Sydney and back to Melbourne. It's like Sydney is kind of turning into my second home. I have a great friends network up there. I'm probably going to start spending 2 weeks up there, 2 weeks in Melbourne.
Nice,
That's kind of the plan. And I really enjoy Sydney, but I've put 30-something thousand Ks on that car in a year.
Yeah, wow.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's why, but I got a couple of other cars on the list. Actually, it's funny enough, I was talking to the other guys. The next big things to me is art and cars. So I'm kind of moving into that.
I like it.
Yeah, I inherited the art thing from my mum. I got some nice stuff, but I really want to start building out a collection and kind of focusing more on my home life, whilst also focusing on TRS.
I really like that, man. Balance.
Balance is so important, but it's also balance for the right areas of your life at the right time.
Got it.